What's going on, good people? How you live?
Hey.
How you live? Hey. We're back in this thing. Welcome back to the Classics, the cinematic movie podcast that takes you back to the iconic films of 20 years ago. Now on iHeartRadio. I am your guy, Jay Alonzo. How's everybody doing? Everybody good? Everybody straight?
Great.
How are you?
Thank you.
I'm groovy. Now, the two voices you hear on today's episode are two very special, dear, good friends of mine. And it's an honor to have them on my show today, to have them rock with me today, especially with this particular movie. All right. So I got to give the proper introduction for y'all because you guys are, first of all, the coolest women I've ever met.
Aww.
And
Thank you.
And the aspirations and what you guys strive to do is nothing short of brilliance. So for that, it gives me absolute pleasure. Make some noise for Mila and Khadija, the Linton Twins. What's going on, y'all?
Mila.
Hey.
So thank y'all for hanging out with me today. It's awesome.
Definitely.
For sure.
I didn't think you would respond
We're excited
as
to be here.
I didn't think you would respond as fast, but you work very quickly.
Aw, thank you.
So before we get into this movie, let's get to know you guys for a little bit. Tell me about the Linton Twins. So how did you get your start?
Well, we are actresses, and we have a makeup brand, Artistic Glow.
But we got our start actually before acting and before creating our beauty business and brand, Artistic Glow. We actually started out as dancers in high school, so professionally dancing. And we were really inspired by a show we watched that we got to see before we got to high school. So the show inspired us to enter into the dance team in high school. And we would do jazz, tap, hip hop, ballet. And it would consist of Michael Jackson, doing like replicating his music videos and all kind of awesome, great artists. And so then it started out with dance, and then that was our artistic start. And we had that professional training, and then from there, that really just that's one artistic side of us, and then that opened up the door for us to explore our other artistic sides, which is acting and makeup, which all go hand in hand in entertainment. So,
okay, so. Tell me what inspires you. What got you to this particular point, and what keeps you going in this crazy business we call Hollywood.
So, like, first we started out with dancing, and then from
actually
there,
we started out dancing out 4 because Mom got us into tap and ballet out 4.
Professionally, we started when we were 4, and very young. But as far as like taking it to the next level, our high school dance team. But what inspired us is, I think, just growing in our art and wanting to affect people. So being twins, I feel like we instantly have this effect on people where we're a natural light, through God, number one, but just a light, and people gravitate towards that. And, and then through our art, we exemplify and naturally exemplify light, So growing in our art continues to inspire us, and wanting to be that light through art is really what inspires us, and to continue to grow in business and art and in how we affect people. I think that whatever we do affects people.
And then
so having that effect.
Yeah, definitely. And then also being an actress, you get to tell stories. You get to go places emotionally and spiritually and mentally that challenge you to be vulnerable, that challenge you to go places that are deep, go places that make you laugh, that, affect places in your life that you might not necessarily be in that moment, but it challenges you to be emotionally vulnerable and express, things that really bring out the best in you, and, bring out change in others. So
and we get to make people laugh.
Yeah.
So we naturally make people laugh every single day. But then through our art, we get to make people crack up and laugh because, we take real life art. If you're good at what you do and striving towards continued greatness, you take from your real life. So we get to make people laugh, and we get to make them think about their life too. So when we're doing drama, people get to think on their life and have introspective moments. So it's all about affecting people at the end of the day. That's
and having
really
fun and loving what
you
you do. So that's most important.
What roles call out to you? And I know with you guys being twins, I know I don't want to say you guys feel the same or think the same, but you know how twins, the twins thing goes. But I would say, what type of roles call out to you when you're going into the audition room, or when you're just simply creating your own content?
what type of roles like are we drawn to as actresses, as twins?
Yes.
Okay, naturally as twins, we're definitely drawn to comedy because, that's the natural foundation of it. You get to build upon that with the way you build and create your character and, everything that you decide to build upon that. And then, as twins, definitely comedy. That's just naturally, instinctively.
Because we naturally cover each other and naturally have timing.
And our comedic timing is naturally funny.
Okay, so tell me about the your first roles as actresses in this game.
I would say our first role was a Master P. I got the first role. People still remember that. They still call us, still send us pictures. Like, people still to this day, remember this year, last year, like people almost every year, people still say something about that. So that was like our first role.
Na
na na na.
Okay. So what's next up for you guys? Where are the Linton Twins going from here? I know you have Artistic Glow. Shout out to you guys for that. That seems to be doing extremely well.
Thank you.
Where do you guys go from here? What's next for you?
Continue to flourish and having our own TV show, our very own TV show, and continue to grow and expound in film. There's so many places you can go with film, and definitely our own production company for sure.
And right now we have our show Alleyway, and we're really excited about the second season of that, which has been a really great success in the first season. So look out for that. Whatever else God brings our way, we know some doors are opening for some great things. So we're just staying on and, staying centered for what belongs to us. So definitely.
Yeah. So and both sides. So for makeup, for our business, our makeup line or brand, that coming. So the brand is here, but definitely the makeup line coming and growing. So that, and then for acting, just continue to grow beyond even just in front of the camera, like producing as well. And we've started that with some projects. So
your film with Melvin that you did.
Well, definitely shout out to our boy Marcus, because I am too on Alleyway. Not on the second season, I don't think so, but I'm gonna call him. I'll call him so I can get down with you guys.
Exactly.
For sure.
I know.
So let's get into this thing. Once again, I gotta say thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'm sure my listeners will definitely agree. You guys have so much insight to give in this world of entertainment. So let's get into this thing.
Thank you.
So, 2-minute drill.
Our Instagram. So do you tell people when to follow us at the end, or
yeah,
that now?
Well, you can plug it now if you want to. Usually, I save time at the end to plug it, but go ahead.
Perfect. Let's save it to the end and let's get into this movie then.
All right. So, 2-minute drill. You guys know how 2-minute drill works. Now, this movie is very near and dear to me, only because I remember when I saw it. I remember it was filming in LA, and I was living. I want to say off of. King and Crenshaw, and I remember they was filming it somewhere around like Lamert Park, so I never forget. And plus, me and the lead actor in this movie, we used to share the same barber, so that's how I knew what was going on.
Wow!
So let's get into this thing. So 2-minute drill.
Look at you and Nick share the barber. No, I'm joking.
Yeah.
I know you're talking about Martin. Was it Nick or was it Martin?
Oh no! It was definitely Martin. No. Not Nick Beam.
No, that's how I know. I was joking. That's how I was like, oh, you and Nick share the barber.
Like, nah. No. I keep it gutter.
You would have been heading to Beverly Hills for that cut.
Those them $55 supercuts. Nah, I'm cool on those. I'm good on those. All right, so let's get into this thing. You guys ready?
Yes.
Okay, so who wants to go first?
I will.
All right, so Mila?
This is Khadija.
Khadija, okay. All right, cool. Who is getting your first question?
Oh, I thought you... No, you asked me.
No. You ask him.
Okay.
So I
ask you the first question.
All right, so... Wait. Hold on.
Okay.
2-minute drill starts now.
Okay. Did Nick's face show on the company camera?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, this was going to Khadija. What's the name of PB's statue? 5 seconds.
Don't know the name of the statue.
I know.
Well, that's wrong. The actual answer is it's actually Nerug is the name of the statue.
Okay.
All right, Mila is
Definitely know there was a penis attached to the statue.
yeah. There was definitely a statued penis on that statue there. Mila, your question.
We knew how it looked.
You know what I'm saying? Mila, it's on you, love.
Okay. Okay. I'll ask a question. I thought you were gonna ask me a question, so I get to ask you now, huh?
Yep.
Okay. So, who did Terrence's mother-in-law slap in the movie?
Depending on which scene we're talking about, but first time we see
We're talking about the scene when they're in the house and they just got back from doing their dirt and they came into the house.
So she slaps Terrence first, twice, and then she slaps Nick, and then slaps Terrence for a third time.
Exactly.
Yes. Okay. According to Nick, what is beetle-headed?
What is what?
What is beetle-headed?
Beetle-headed?
Mm-hmm.
Beetle-headed.
We got 15 seconds.
Okay, what scene was it? Which scene was this in? I'm trying to.
I thought you watched the movie. What happened?
Relate this. I watched. You're talking about little things. I'm a very visual person. I know exactly everything. But you know.
In 3, 2, 1. Okay, so it's actually a synonym for stupid. That's what beetle-headed is.
Okay, so you asking me these little detailed, tiny questions.
That's the point.
Some visual stuff.
That's the point. That's the point. The point is that you actually watched the movie, and if you did watch the movie, I'm about to hit you with some.
I watched it 2 to 3 times. I absolutely love the movie.
Yeah, that's how we were able to ask you questions.
Got you. Well,
you got the easy ones.
Oh, I have the more detailed, make you think questions for sure. If you don't,
no, we definitely think quick, but those were a little. Look at underneath the table somewhere.
real detail. So if you don't know what movie we're talking about, we're taking it back to 1997 with the Martin Lawrence, Tim Robbins buddy comedy classic, in my opinion, Nothing to Lose. Yeah.
And he's asking super duper uber detailed questions.
Original release date, July 18th, 1997. Shares opening weekend with George of the Jungle and The Swan Princess. I like George of the Jungle. That was a good one with Brendan Fraser. Production budget was $25 million with a box office total of $44.5 million. The movie currently holds a 29% on Rotten Tomatoes. Is that fair?
Wow,
that's
I don't know if that's
crazy.
fair. I don't know if that's fair.
What would you give it?
Can I give it a star, or you mean just like I have to give it a percent or what?
If you were running Rotten Tomatoes right now, what would you give Nothing to Lose?
I would give this. I like to do stars. I would give it a 5-star. It was a great comedy. A lot of actually great things.
Action comedy too.
Yeah, action comedy, and great things to make you think about your life as well, and the decisions that you make when things don't go right and when things don't go your way. So, I saw this movie and I loved it, but I was grabbing some other deep stuff from it.
I would definitely give it a 5-star. Just based upon not only the physical action and comedy moments, but just the life moments that propel people to be, better when they're in crisis. You have to make better decisions in crisis and rise to the occasion. So.
Word.
You have to turn those lemons into lemonades, and that's what they did.
Shout out to Beyonce. How old were you when this movie came out?
I'm thinking I was probably like
we can't tell ages, but we I know. Kids.
Well, let's get into this thing, man. Nothing to Lose. Okay, so I got some notes. I'm sure you guys have some notes as well. I think this movie is a classic, in my opinion. This movie definitely has now stood the test of time. we watched Martin evolve from the Def Comedy Jam days to the Martin Show days to where he full blown he became a movie star. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
And I always thought that with Tim Robbins being in this movie as well, not necessarily known for his comedy chops, with like Shawshank Redemption and all that, and the fact that he does hold his own, attached to Martin Lawrence. I think this movie's great. I love this movie. This movie's awesome. Let me ask you guys this. Okay, so in the beginning of the movie, right, Nick and his wife are playing this game, right? Mm-hmm. Can you really classify what this damn game is?
I would say it was almost like
Role
playing. No, I wouldn't say role reversal. I would say it was like role play. At first, it could come off like they were really in this situation of possibly breaking up. But then as it continues, you get that they're like not role playing, but playing roles. Like they're acting. They have like a little mini acting
fantasies.
Scene. Yeah, like fantasy role play, whatever.
About
something in that
like what
nature,
they would fantasize that would make the relationship more interesting or better.
Or worse, or what the other person did wrong. So that was cool because I like that because it set a tone of you not knowing if they were really breaking up with each other at first or if they were playing with each other. So it set like a cool tone of not knowing, of mystery. Yeah.
Right. So would you play this game?
No.
No.
Like, nah. Don't think I would. No. Mm-mm.
Yeah, no. I think at the end of the day, I guess when people are a little drunk or if they're, a little feeling nice, some of their truths come out. But this game seemed like everything could come out, and someone needs to be truthful without playing a game. That's
yeah. Feelings are for sure getting hurt with this particular game, for sure. For sure. Okay, so go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, and it's funny how in the beginning of the movie, she's saying that I'm cheating on you with such and such, with the maintenance man and things like that. But then it's funny how later in the movie, how Nick thought that his wife was really cheating on him. So the irony of the game and then how
it played into his life.
How it played into him really thinking that his wife was cheating before he knew the truth that's a pretty little ironic, interesting thing right there.
And that's what kind of makes the movie special because the movie ultimately is about a guy who pretty much has it all. The perfect marriage, the perfect job. And then it's about what he does when he is faced with a possible reality that he didn't foresee, as far as coming home from work, thinking that, he's going to come home early, surprise the wife. And then he, walks through the door and sees who he thinks is his wife, getting it in.
It's her sister.
Yeah, it's the sister. Right. So it's like, I've never walked in on a girlfriend cheating on me. I've had, stories being told to me, but to walk in to see the actual physical act, it's like, whoa.
And to think, and then it was all a misperception.
Really
and that even makes it worse.
Right.
Because it wasn't really what and the reason why it makes it worse because he had nothing to lose. That's the whole point of the movie. He literally risked it all because he felt like he had nothing to lose at that point, including his job. He was willing to risk his job over a misconception, a misunderstanding over something that didn't even end up being true.
Exactly.
So it's crazy where decisions and based off of a false foundation can lead you with nothing to lose and everything to really lose.
And it's funny because the movie itself doesn't necessarily help the case of the boss, PB, because when you first see PB, he's a bit shisty. He has a bit of a shisty, I'm looking to get over on you kind of a vibe to him. So it's almost like maybe he did fuck his wife. I don't know.
Yeah.
It makes it kind of sketchy.
It makes it extremely sketchy. So anyway, so
and then she's turned around. So it's like, okay, was that really your sister?
And then her.
They never showed her face.
Right, but her and her sister have like them in the exact same hairstyle. So it's like
and the same color.
And the same color, So it's like, okay, so that could be some shit, but. Okay, so when he decides that he has now seen what he's seen, and then you see the cufflinks on the table, he's not really he's piecing together what he thinks he's gonna piece together without really giving it much thought, and then he breaks out.
Yeah.
So I love this next part because once he gets, first of all, he's on the freeway. And we know this. We're all, LA natives. So he's on what I'm going to assume is the 10. And he on the 110 rather. And he's doing like 30 miles on the 110. Are you crazy?
I know, everyone was beeping at him.
Yeah.
Hey, asshole, get out of the road.
Yeah.
That just shows you how your thoughts can literally impact everything.
Exactly.
It impacted his state of mind. It impacted his motion, his movement,
his mind.
everything. So
let's.
He was unraveling while he was just driving.
Oh yeah, he's going through it like you won't believe. So let's talk about the first appearance of our guy Martin Lawrence as T. Paul.
Okay.
So Martin had, in my opinion, probably one of the best opening lines in the movie, where he literally puts the gun to Nick's head and goes, "Welcome to hell, bitch." Like, I've tried to do that for the longest, right? But
oh my gosh.
but it makes for, in this movie, it doesn't necessarily get credited as a drama, but it definitely has the dramatic elements, because you kind of feel for Nick. You definitely feel for him as far as what he's going through, how he's feeling. Like he possibly just walked in on seeing his wife cheating on him, right?
But what did I'm so sorry, but what did Nick tell him? You picked the wrong guy today, or the wrong
Yeah,
guy
like
today.
you picked the wrong guy on the wrong day, and then just madness just ensues, right? So we're watching this dude basically explode, right? And then you have the would-be carjacker, Martin, doesn't quite know what the fuck he just got himself into. And so toward the end of this scene, when they're driving and and they get toward that huge busy intersection downtown, and us, when it comes to downtown traffic, that's not a game to play with. People they drive like the world's gonna end tomorrow. So so I thought the dynamic between the two of them, in that first scene, definitely sets the tone for, really the remainder of the movie, because obviously Nick hates, Terrence, and Terrence just want to get over on him, whatever. And so, by the time you get to the Arizona scene, then they're now in Arizona, and Nick's kind of calmed down, and then you have T sitting in the car looking like, "Please don't kill me, Freaky Jason." I said, "Please don't kill me, Freaky Jason." Like that part. It's so
that was hilarious.
It's so damn funny. So by the time they get to the diner, which, by the way, quick 2-minute drill question for
the diner.
So funny.
What's the name of the diner? Either one of you know?
Really, that little old beaten down diner? I know what happened in that dang diner. Nick didn't have his dang credit card.
Because he threw his damn wallet out the window.
Yes, he didn't. But he went to go get his spare credit card in his wallet from this old beat down diner.
And Martin,
and guess what? And then when they came back in the diner, the thing was expired. That's what I know about that diner and that scene.
Martin held him down for that $1 coffee.
Exactly. Oh, celebrity stalker ain't got a wallet. So you have this diner fight, right? Which I find kind of crazy, because when they go outside and you have this fight outside the diner, right? And so, mind you, the waitress is already looking at them like, "What are you two up to?" Right? They go outside. They go outside. They have the fight, and then mid-fight, she comes outside with the big ass pan and bangs them both.
Super funny.
A great scene. You know what I mean? So, but my favorite scene, which I think a lot of the listeners are probably going to agree with me, because when I announced this movie, I was getting comments saying, "Oh, my favorite scene is this pep talk that T gives to Nick," which is like probably one of the best scenes in the movie.
And your favorite scene better not be my favorite scene.
I don't know. So when he goes, "So why you out here?" Like, I don't want to talk about it. And so when he discovers that Nick's wife has cheated on him, he gives his pep talk talking about
what he would say.
What he would say, right? And I love that part because I would, even as a young kid, I would repeat that part over and over to the point my mom said, "Tell me to shut the hell up." So, as for Nick Bean, I'm fit, lit, and I damn sure ain't taking no shit. So you can get the fuck out. So,
and isn't that funny that they were using the word lit back then? They think lit is the word now. They were using that decades ago.
back then, that was the thing to say, lit. You know what I mean? So that's what I told the bitch. That's what I told the bitch. It definitely shows that, you know, these two guys are from the two totally different sides of the spectrum.
Exactly.
But they almost have the same common goal, is to get up. Neither one of them have nothing to lose, you know?
Then wind up losing it all.
and then wind up losing it all. So, now, so by the time we get to the gas station scene,
the ironic part is that they still have things to lose, and they start to realize that at the end of the movie.
Yes, they do. Especially,
it becomes a reality check, especially Terrence.
So, all right. So, one of you guys want to talk about the scene when Terrence is robbing the gas station as Nick is pumping the gas, reminiscing about him and his wife, and then we get Terrence robbing the gas, robbing Buford basically, and when they break out, next thing you know, you have this car chase or this game of chicken, if you will.
I think that part was crazy because it seemed like, and you're talking about when they were getting chased by the police as well.
Yeah.
That scene,
yes.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, that was really, really crazy because you would have thought their whole life would have went crashing down within a matter of seconds. But with the art of movies and with the way that these cars moved, and the other car ends up hitting the police. The guy that's chasing them ends up hitting the police, and they get off scot-free. And you're like, you just exhale like, oh, yes, keep going, keep winning. So that was really cool between the way they put the magic in the movies and the way they had the car, running
like they
to the
get
police.
off.
It's like they get off and they continue to get to overcome all these obstacles, really, that they're putting themselves in the first place. Because both of them don't have to do this. You
right.
know, it shows that Terrence, the thing that I love is that when Nick was at Terrence's house, I absolutely love that it showed that this is a hardworking, dedicated, honest, fighting for his family and life type man. So it shows that he's been applying to jobs. He's applying for applications. You know, he's just getting turned down. He's just not having the best luck and the best favor in that moment. But I really love how it showed how dedicated and resilient he was as a man. So for me, the fact that they showed that is so important. We don't get that a lot these days, you know? So for it to show that, of how much of a brilliant man he was and his education in engineering, I thought that was awesome.
Okay, so I want to say this quote real quick because even as a youngin, when I first heard this quote, I'm like, that shit is nasty. The sheriff that chases Nick and T and crashes his car into the truck, he goes once they pull up the mugshots of the other black and white guys.
Yes.
He goes, if there's so much of a sneeze out there, I want to fail the mast. It's like, whoa, ew, like, ugh. So I also want to touch on, by the time we get outside, I'm sorry, take it back. By the time we dodged the cop and we dodged Buford, they pull over, and then Nick tells Terrence about the beetle-headed thing, which is a synonym for stupid, which we now know. But when Nick gets the idea to actually go back and rob the boss, right?
Oh my gosh.
Let's speak on that for a second, because it's almost like he himself was creating the robbery as he's pretty much trying to lecture Terrence on something, right?
Yeah.
So I thought it was the genius way of actually like bringing it to the forefront. Like, so am I hearing you right? Mr. High and Mighty's gonna rob his boss? What your thought was?
It's like the tables turn.
The table's completely turned because now
It's like you're.
Yeah, he's the robber, and now Terrence is like, oh, well, take the lead then.
He's like, you're just as good / as bad as me. We're on the same level here now.
Exactly. Now, I also thought it was genius because I will actually do the same thing. I will pull the same card that Terrence pulled because when Nick didn't want to get T involved, he goes, listen, I was present at the planning of this criminalistic endeavor. And he goes, well, shit, maybe I should just call Quality Design Group when I get back. I would pull the same shit. I would actually pull the same stunt. No lie.
Yeah, because now they're at this point, they're in the same boat. So they, took on the same agendas at some point in the film, the same, crazy, off the rack agenda to go rob and take over.
And I think at that point it just shows they're more alike than different.
Exactly. Exactly.
No matter social status didn't really separate them at that point.
Yeah, because T's looking for a payday and then Nick's looking for revenge. So, they're definitely now both of them have nothing to lose. Obviously, but It definitely creates that camaraderie between the two, even though neither one of them really wants to admit it just yet. But it's definitely creating that. It's creating that sense of like
that brotherhood.
Right, yeah, like we need each other more than we think we do. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So we also get a glimpse of the other black and white guys. You have John C. McGinley who plays Riggs, and then you have Giancarlo Esposito who plays Charlie. How ironic you get two other black and white dudes in this movie, and then it comes together so well at the end as well. But these two dudes are practically the crime wave of like that highway, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So when you get to the next scene, when they go to the gas station, and prior to that, the spider crawls on Nick's head,
Oh my God.
and then
It was so funny.
and obviously his damn shoes catch on fire as well, which is probably the funniest part of the movie to me. And so they get to the gas station, and as Nick is walking into the gas station, his shoes are smoking, right?
Yeah.
And the first thing that the store clerk says is, "You must be really fast." so that part in particular, I think about my mom because every time that part comes on, she cracks up laughing. Every time. So
No, it's super funny.
all right, so all right, so speak on the point. When do you guys speak on the on the point outside the gas station when Riggs and Charlie pull up because they see Nick and T outside with a shotgun, thinking that they're trying to take over their crime wave?
Yeah, it's interesting because it really reminded me of the Crips and Blood and like really claiming your land, because basically when they rolled up, they're like, we own this crime scene right here, or this we own this crime neighborhood. Like, you cannot commit crime where we commit crime and where we roll, So that honestly, it literally reminded me of the Crips and Bloods and how, for
Territory.
they rep territory and, in areas and blocks and hoods. So it's like they're repping like they're in a gang and like, hey, this block, this area, you cannot commit crime. Like, we run this, So that's what it really reminded me of, that part.
And then just trying to, take control over their area and being dominant and being like so serious about it when they're the ones who wind up going to jail for it. So like the ironic part is that them trying to protect their own territory from their own crime that they're going to do anyways wind up getting them arrested in the long run. So
Right.
it's kind of funny how it played out.
So Riggs and Charlie, they have T and Nick pretty much cornered, and they pretty much run them off the road. And this part's hilarious because the comedic genius that is Martin Lawrence, right? Because only Martin would think of some crazy shit like this. So when they pull up on them and they realize they're not cops, clearly. So they get out the car and Martin gets on the car. All right, motherfuckers, back the fuck off. And then you get the two big ass shotguns. He just throws the gun like, yeah, I'll just fuck it with y'all.
That was crazy.
I mean, it's hard. Like I couldn't imagine what it's like to do a movie with Martin and not laugh every single take, like every single.
Yeah, I'm so
take.
sure. No, it has to be lit all the time.
Lose your job laughing.
Man, so, but that part was great because you know, they both get beat up basically. But at this point right now, Nick stands up to Riggs because, you know, he's basically saying, you know, you're a jerk off punk bully. And then, which basically has Martin, or sorry, has T grabbing the shotgun from Riggs, having them both back up. But in the same momentum, shoots Nick.
Yeah, that was insane.
So
that's what happens when you're trying to do wrong.
yeah. Now back the fuck up, I kick you in your bitch ass chin. I love that part. It's my favorite line. So, at this point, you know, they break out. They're headed back to LA. You know, and then obviously we find out that Nick's gunshot wound is really a baby gash.
Yeah, a laceration, a baby laceration,
a flesh wound to be damned, and. You know, basically, you know, you don't expect T to offer Nick a place, you know, to offer him, you know, the couch to crash at his place. You don't even know the guy, right? But off of the fact that, once again, like we said, they're now beginning to discover they need each other more than they think they do, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, at this point, they're the male Bonnie and Clyde.
Exactly. So, we get to T's crib, and then of course you guys brought it up during the 2-minute drill. We get Mama. I don't care what movie she's in. That's Mama. whether it's soul food, whether it's this, whether it's lady killers, that's Mama. Like no matter what's going on, that's Mama. So when Mama comes out, slaps the shit out of T, slaps Nick, and then slaps T again. You know, like that's one of those things about. That could actually be my favorite scene in the movie, but we'll get to that in a second.
Grown ass man getting slapped.
Slapped by his.
That means his mom is like, if you stay here, you just like my son. I'm about to put you in line and in place.
You got that slap because you with him.
But then getting slapped in front of another grown man, like how embarrassing! You don't get no worse than that,
right?
Like you're grown, getting slapped by a grown woman in front of another grown man, like. That's like over the top.
Now, I did want to speak on what you mentioned earlier. So at the house, well, number one, we all discover that the neighborhood that T and the family live in is not the best neighborhood, obviously. But I think this scene definitely shows the humility in T, because prior to this scene, Nick only thinks that, you know, T's a common thug. He's out there just, you know, robbing. But then you come home and see, you know, he has 2 children he has to fend for. You know what I mean? And and living in a shitty neighborhood. And then what makes matters worse is that once, you know, T and the wife go to bed, Nick can actually see he's really out here trying to get a job. He's really trying to provide for his family. To where that's where I think the movie it makes that's where it has to turn at that point, because now Nick understands now T's plight. You know, when he says,
"He can see the heart of a man." He can see the heart of a man.
Exactly.
Struggle.
Right. So see, he now knows, like, no, you're not just a criminal. You really are trying to provide for the family. You can really only respect that. You know what I mean? So let's talk about when they rob Henry, the nice old guy at the sporting goods store. So let's just say hypothetically, if you were Henry, if one of you two were Henry, and you get T and T walks in and goes, "Freeze, motherfucker! You move your ass so much as an inch, I'll blow it off. You hear me, motherfucker?" And then you get Nick, who's very, very calm, and he's talking to you. He's talking to you with a really dark and ominous presence. Who would you think is more scary at that time?
I feel like Nick. Like dark and
ominous. It kind of creates a whole different energy. Even if it's quiet, it just, creates a whole different energy. And another thing, I would have found the nearest cane next to me and bopped one of them upside their head.
Yeah, that's just that. But I love that scene. That's probably one of my favorite scenes in this movie. So, okay. So at this point, we know that Riggs and Charlie now know that Nick and T are in LA. They know where the office that they're going to rob is at. And so they get this hunch to leave this really sleazy strip club that they're at to go over to the office where the robbery is going to take place.
God.
Right? So when they finally get through there, then you can truly see how much of a professional in regards to the electrician business, how how much knowledge that T actually has when it comes to the electrician, electrical stuff. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So by the time he puts in the code and all the lasers go out until we got 5 minutes, it's so well executed. By the time they get to getting the money out and all that, and then of course Nick just has to fuck it up by by flipping off the camera and all that, but then it makes it worse. Oh no, better yet, he chops the dick off the statue, number one. And then
he still has his mask on first. Then his mask on is first, and then he comes back
and takes the mask off. But at that point, Nick literally has nothing to lose. To the point to where he
in his mind,
he literally wants PB to know who did this to him. Right?
Exactly.
And so, which if I'm doing a crime with somebody and you show your damn face, like, bro, I got a problem with that. I have a problem with that.
Exactly. He didn't stick to the rules.
Yeah.
You might as well he just turned himself in.
If they catch you, they catch me. And I'm not going to jail. Not for you. Hell no.
At that point, they should have just left the money on the table.
I just left. Yeah, exactly. So as they're trying to break out, then you get the security guard scene. Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh, my God. That fool, now that had me... That fool was doing his own damn concerts. He literally thought he was Jeremiah up in there. Like,
man, okay,
he
so...
thought he was the R&B superstar.
So to his defense, to the security guard's defense, I used to work in LA, in Santa Monica, at the condominium building, basically, right? At the condominium building, I would do a graveyard shift. And so at that time, 3, 4 in the morning,
Delirious.
everybody's sleeping. So I got the music on louder. So I'm walking around. I'm just spitting my lyrics. You know what I'm saying? I'm just in a full 3-piece suit, just enjoying what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So I totally understand, where he's coming from when you got to keep yourself awake for that graveyard, because graveyard shift is a bitch of a shift.
Moment.
Yeah, it's a bitch of a shift. I gotta tell you. But we get the security guard dance break, which is probably like the funniest thing ever.
Yeah, he was going for it.
and he goes at it for like an hour and 20 minutes straight. Like, dude, go do something else. Shit.
Man.
So
he was sweating at the end, so he really nailed it with his little concert.
Oh yeah. So they finally break out. And then they head over to the hotel, on which obviously the other two guys are hot on their trail. They get to the hotel, and then they break out. Now remember the girl that's in the way in the beginning. Huh? What's her name? Oh my God, what is her name?
I know the girl with the long curly hair.
Yeah, girl with the long curly hair, right?
She's the Noxzema girl.
Yes. So from way in the beginning, he happened to Nick bumps into her at the hotel, right? Woo. And she's trying to get Nick's draws. Like, she's hell bent on getting Nick's draws. But Nick is so, bewildered, and he's so down about, what he just did to Philip. He's feeling like, he's feeling the guilt for doing it, but at the same time, he's feeling relief for, like, getting back at him for, like, sleeping with his wife, yada, yada, yada. So, in the meantime, while Nick is, he's going through his emotions, these two fools get up to where T is, and it's now a shakedown.
You done got ganked.
You done got ganked. T done got ganked.
Got ganked.
T done straight got ganked. So,
That had me cringing after all that hard work. It definitely had me cringing.
Well, he should have been smart enough to look through the peephole before he opened up the door, and that was a dumb move with all that money on the table.
Yeah, why didn't he look through the peephole? Like,
See, he made an assumption.
it's the movie. Obviously, nobody's. It's obviously a movie because like I'm looking through the peephole if I do anything. So
exactly.
So
especially when you're moving the way they were moving.
Oh hell yeah! So once Nick pretty much he couldn't perform with the chick, so he takes off. He attempts to call his wife, right? And you know, obviously she's concerned because he hasn't been home in what we now know is 2 days. So she's concerned, and you know he goes, you know, I saw you, like you didn't see me, you saw my sister, right? And once he realized he done fucked up, you know, he runs back up to the room. At this point, you know, those guys are taking off, and T is hanging on by a sheet and a chair on the balcony, which is had to have been a shit-inducing stress sandwich because there's no way I'm not gonna sit there to be like, okay. There's no way you can't move, right? But as soon as
that's a crazy position to be in.
That's a horrible position to be in.
Your whole life is literally, let's say that, literally.
So Nick is able to grab the sheet, get him up, and then they break out. Now, this part I think is pretty cool because when they're going after Riggs and Charlie, you know, they're now going after the bad guys with the guns and all that jazz. And then when the whole thing goes down, I think Nick has one of the most bossiest lines in the movie when, you know, he goes, "I'm a killer, Nick. Yes. What are you, Nick? I'm married." Like, that's boss. I love that. That's super boss.
Loved that.
That was super boss. Like, yeah. That's right. Represent. So, and
he was taking pride in getting back what he thought he had lost.
He had lost, exactly. So, and then, like you said, the irony of those two dudes getting what they got coming. So they're basically gonna get locked up for something that T and Nick did, but because they're, you know, one black guy, one white guy, and they're already known and they already have a rap sheet for doing all the ill shit that they've done, they're gonna go down. So, in the car, actually, you know what? Why don't you guys speak to this? So in the car, they got their money back.
Well, when they get their money back, and I'm gonna kind of talk about that, but kind of segue into my favorite part as well. But they have the money back, and you know they're excited. You know, T is talking about all the things he's gonna do, and you know you can see Nick just like he's like in regret in his mind. You know, it's like he's thinking and maybe not saying everything, but he's like already thinking like, I can't take this money. He starts to, you know, talk on that a little bit, but you can see in his eyes, like there's sadness in his eyes because he feels bad, you know, basically having to tell T that I can't take this money, you know, it's not possible because at the end of the day, in his head, even though he didn't verbalize that at once, he's like, I can't keep this money. We have to take this money and put it back and give it to my boss and put it back in the safe. Because at the end of the day, my boss did not have sex with my wife, and my wife let me know that it was her sister who had sex, and I thought it was her from the back. So all those little details play out.
It's like his whole revenge.
Yeah, it's like a flashback of everything that he's thinking,
that went
and
wrong.
He has to return the money to his boss's safe at the end of the day. Like, there's no way around it. But he's so excited. He's talking about, you know, everything he's going to get, you know, and it's like he's just overjoyed about changing his life and changing, you know, his whole dynamic, his whole family dynamic and where they live and where they shop and all these things. So, but can I segue into when they get out the car, when they're talking and everything?
Yeah, do you think?
Okay, cool. So that part was cool, but my favorite part is when they get out the car And T continues to talk about, all the things he's going to do with the money and his excitement. And Nick is just looking like a puppy dog and sad and just, then they start arguing. They start arguing about, Nick is, saying that we have to return this money. I have to return this money. Things worked out. He's letting T know my wife did not cheat on me. We have to return this money. And T is like, in all hell, we ain't. Like, it is not going down. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about, but underneath my dead body, you're returning this money, So they're going back and forth, arguing about the money. T is set on keeping it no matter what. Nick is set on returning it so he can get his life and his wife back. And my favorite part is when, the most, touching part is like when they're going back and forth, and then Nick says, well, T agrees to give the money back. He finally, after fighting back and forth for a while, he finally agrees. Not in a desirable way, but he's like,
not willingly.
Right.
But he's finally turning over this leaf,
more like out of obligation
of realizing that his friend's position in his wife's life and him getting his life back is more important than him taking the money. But my favorite part is when they finally agree. Well, T finally agrees to give the money back to Nick. And Nick says, summarize, but he says, I get my life back. And then the most touching part is when T says, I get to go back to mine too. But T's life is not great. But what I love so much is that it showed his heart of being willing to give up what he thought would change his life and his world and his wife and everything, living the American dream. Basically, he wanted a new car and clothes and being able to eat at the finer places in life. So he really thought that this bag, as they call it now, this bag of money, he thought it would change his whole life. But he was willing to give that up in order to see his friend, redeem and get his life back and his American dream back. While T said, well, I get mine back too, he's going back to the hood. He's going back to no money. He's going back to no job. He's going back to all these things that don't equal what he saw.
The monetary.
So, I just love that he was full enough to go to for temporarily going back to his life, which was not much at all, but willing to give everything all back to T so that he could get his life back. So I thought that was a very powerful scene, and it really teaches humility and love and friendship and brotherhood and character. What real friendship is about, and the things that you're willing to do in the midst of a loss. And he was willing to win for the greater good of his friend through that loss.
But
so
what I thought was really awesome is that Nick offered him a job.
Exactly.
So, it shows that even though he was going back to a lifestyle that was more affluent and more successful than, his friend, it also showed that he was willing to bring him up with him.
Right.
So he might not be starting at the high position, but he's going to start somewhere we can build a new life for his family.
He actually created a position for him. So it's like, it shows you that, God will bless a humble heart, and he will use the people around you who love and care for you and see your heart to bless you. So be careful who you keep around. It's the people that are closest to you that see your heart, see your hard work, and see your humility and are willing to bless you out of the goodness of what they see. So,
yes, absolutely. Speak that truth. All right. Well,
favor. You can't work for favor.
Exactly. Well, that's the movie right there. This movie's great. I think this movie is super great. So let's get into takeaways. You know how takeaways works. We have your favorite male actor, favorite male character, favorite female character, least favorite character, least favorite scene, and of course your favorite scene, which we call our iconic moment. So I'm gonna start with Mila. Who is getting your That Guy award?
Terrence.
T. Paul. Okay. What about
Martin Lawrence.
what about your That Chick award? There's not a whole lot of chicks in this movie, but who's getting your That Chick award?
My what award? Which one?
That Chick.
That chick, of course, Riggs and Charlie. That chick.
Mm-hmm.
You say chick and the wife and win. Like, always know, all you girls out there, the wife always wins.
Okay.
The wife has the power. No. I think that, she was able to get her husband back, and that's what it's all about. So, win. You always win. The wife wins. Yeah.
Okay, now what about your the This Fool Award? That's your least favorite character.
Of course, Riggs and Charlie. They are that fool together. They're a team, so both of them, Riggs and Charlie.
Okay. Cut that out. What's your...
No, serious. They're a bad guy team.
Yeah. I mean, they compliment T and Nick, but we'll get to that. What are you cutting out? What's your least favorite scene?
They do, but they were mean to my guys. They're mean to them. So.
They played their role.
My least favorite scene would be, what's my least favorite scene? Wow, the whole movie was really good. So let me think of my least favorite scene. My least favorite scene would be when he opened the door and saw his wife cheating on him.
You felt the pain. You felt the hurt.
Oh, for sure. I feel so bad for him.
All right, and give me your iconic scene.
Iconic scene would be the robber, and they went to the job, and when Nick, he was all out. He didn't get no dams, no hairs, no anything.
Okay. Khadija.
He was bold. I mean, yes, hey.
Khadija, give me your That Guy Award.
That guy, of course, will go to Martin Lawrence. I mean, there's no way around it. He's the whole reason the film was like crazy, ridiculously funny. He brought the comedy. He brought the drama. I mean, what can we say? That's our guy.
Okay, so give me your This Fool Award.
This Fool Award will probably go to Martin Lawrence's mom, because the way that she slapped him.
Not Mama.
Like,
not Mama.
No, she was acting like a fool. She was like, "If no fucks right now, I'll to slap y'all, turn around, stand straight, and respect me. Put some respect on it." Mom's was not playing around and did not mind being a bit of a fool, so I got to give it to Mom.
Damn. Okay. What are you cutting out? What are you cutting out?
Let me see. What am I cutting out? When they were robbing the old man at the liquor store, like, I just, when young people rob old, young senior citizens is just like not like, it's just not the vibe.
It's just not cool.
I wasn't feeling that, so
it's just not cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Not cool at all.
It's just not
they
cool.
Didn't torture him or anything, but still, yeah, it's just like,
he probably pissed his pants
without
though.
that scene.
Yeah, he may have peed himself, but whatever.
Yeah, but still, it's like scaring anyone or any person that's a senior citizen is just, below the belt. So yeah.
And who's getting your? What is your iconic scene?
Iconic scene. Let me see. It would just have to be really a moment is when he took the mask off, because I wasn't expecting him to take his mask off. And I felt like when you're holding on kind of like in a sense to the fact that they're about to get away and, it looks like everything's going to go like without, any kind
without
of
a hitch.
Yeah, without a hitch. And then like he takes off his mask. It's like it just kind of ruined the whole scene in a sense. So that would have to be like, it would have to be that scene, because I was not expecting the moment for him to reveal himself, which was like, well, you might as well just count the money, make sure it's stacked properly, glue back on the penis, and call it a day, because, they got y'all now.
Okay. Well, for me, I'm going to say my That Guy Award is going to have to go to T. Martin Lawrence, obviously, that's just the comedic god that he is. He definitely carries this movie. Now, that's taking nothing away from Tim Robbins. I think he holds his own for sure. But, Martin Lawrence, man, come on now. Martin Lawrence.
Exactly.
Now, I'm going to go against you guys. I'm going to say my That Chick Award is going to go to Mama, because don't nobody know how to properly smack the shot of somebody like that lady there. Okay,
Oh my God.
I'm talking about that's Big Mama, that's Mama, that's all that shit. You know what I'm saying? My This Fool award would probably go to. I'm gonna say it's the sheriff because it was because of him. Even though technically it worked out, it worked out well, but it's because of him. Technically, Arizona PD put out the APB on the wrong two dudes. Mm-hmm. That's bad police work.
Yep.
All you saw was one black guy, one white guy. You like, oh, that's them. There it is. I'm gonna say cut that out. I wouldn't cut anything out. I think this movie is an hour and 35 minutes long, and it's just fine the way it is. Honest to God truth. And for me, the iconic scene would have to be when they come back to T's house and Mama gets to lay the smack down on everybody in the house.
Nice.
That's exactly what she did.
I mean, she laid the smack down.
She laid the law.
Knew it was not his house when he got slapped. If you didn't know before, you
Man,
knew it was not his house at all.
One of them old grandma slaps. Ugh, Jesus Christ. So
Honey, that was old school, like back in the black and white TV days slap.
all right, well, let's get into quick hits so we can wrap this thing up. So, of course, with quick hits, we would talk about fun facts about the movie, about the production of the movie, and we can kind of touch base on why didn't they do a certain thing, or why did they do a certain thing. And here we go, quick hits. The name of Martin Lawrence's character is not revealed until 50 minutes into the movie. Which is true. I didn't notice that until maybe rewatching it again, maybe a week ago. I'm like, they don't say his name until damn near the third act. So here we go. Despite the fact that this was filmed in the standard spherical format, filmed in Panavision, it's listed in the end credits. So it wasn't really filmed in Panavision. I don't get it.
They have their own vision for how they wanted to sell it and how that goes.
Exactly.
So
it's called movie making.
Movie magic 101. So, and the final one we have, this is the second movie starring Tim Robbins where he has a cheating wife. The first being The Shawshank Redemption. Why can't he find love any damn where? Why everybody got to cheat on my mans, man?
Maybe he's experienced that.
I know, right?
I don't know. But that's it. That's the whole get down. That's the whole show. Now listen, ladies, I gotta tell you before we wrap this thing up, I am unbelievably appreciative for you guys coming through, hanging out with us today on Back to the Classics.
Thanks for having us.
Yes.
Thanks for having us.
And we're gonna get together quite soon so we can talk about future projects. We need y'all to be down with Beat Network over here.
Oh, definitely
on this end. You dig what I'm saying? Go ahead, let the people know. Let the people know where they can find you.
You can find us on Instagram at Mila Linton, MILAHLINTON at Mila Linton,
and Khadija Linton at KHADIJALINTON. And together we are known as the Linton Twins. And if you want to reach us, you can also hit our emails. Mine's at Khadija Linton. Well, Khadija Linton at iCloud.com.
And that's fine.
Oh yeah, that's cool. That's cool. That's awesome. And now your next project, what are we doing next?
Well, Alleyway Season 2, I'm sure we're filming sometime in the fall. And we have some other projects that we can't talk about.
We have a film project coming up.
So
we can talk about in more details later.
For the reveal and for the details of those things coming up. But
and some Artistic Glow projects too.
Artistic Glow charity events coming up as well. Definitely follow our Instagram for those things, for both our film work and for our Artistic Glow charity events and events that we do that you might just be able to come to if you're in the LA area.
Nice. You can find me on all the social media simply at I am Jay Alonzo. That's Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, and Twitter. Shout out to my man K Williams. He'll be back with us very, very, very soon. Don't forget to go online to beatnetworkonline.com and get all your merchandise, your coffee mugs, your pencils, your shirts, all that good stuff. Shout out to the whole Beat Network crew. Shout out to the whole iHeartRadio family over there. This has been fun. This has been too much fun, actually. Yeah. What?
Definitely took us back in the DeLorean.
Yeah. You guys had to ride in the DL one time. Appreciate it. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, this is Back to Classics. We'll see y'all next week. We're out of here. Peace.
Bye.